In Response, a legacy podcast, is brought to you by greatness@anycost.com and austrian-legacy.com. Welcome, guys, to another episode of
In Response.
A legacy podcast.
I'm Philipp Klein,
I'm Daniel.
And I'm Peter Plank.
and we're talking about legacy.
Most of the time.
Yeah, today is very hard for us. we're trying to record, I think, now for 3 hours, and we're talking about everything, but also also everything about legacy, but just in German. So hopefully, we still have something to talk for you guys. So let's try this and start with Peter. And you said you have some modo action for us, I think, before.
Modo. I played.
Or some kind of a story you want to tell. You wanted to
Yeah. Actually, last week I played again Modo for I think a month or so, and that was mostly because there was unfortunately no paper legacy event the Friday before, because I'm currently
Because of the
pre-release.
The pre-release, yeah.
Yeah, because currently I'm streaming each Monday to recast the recent Austrian Legacy League event. And yeah, to compensate for this, I streamed a Legacy League on Modo, and there I played my 4-color painter brew. And yeah, it was okay. I went 2-3, but there was one particular game I wanted to point out. And yeah, it was... How can I say that? It was... Yeah, maybe we have to censor this, but I was getting anally fucked in that. But yeah, the problem was I was playing...
Maybe we should bleep this out.
Yeah, because I played, as I said, Painter, and I was playing against Delva, and I started off...
me? No,
again, online.
Oh, yeah.
And there I started off with a non-basic, and then Island, I think, and played my turn to Painter. And the Delver player went turn 2, Pyroblast the Island, Wasteland the non-basic land, and attacked with Flip Delver.
Oh, you named blue with the paint.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, because I named blue with the Painter, because I had a Pyroblast in my hands to answer the Tarmogoyf that could happen.
That's one good example how this can backfire.
Yeah, so it was a hard game, and I lost this one because of the misplay.
I mean, was it a misplay really?
Maybe you
Was it
have
after
to expect.
sideboard?
It was after sideboard.
Okay, yeah.
It was game 2, if I remember correctly.
I mean, what would have been a better color to choose in the spot?
I mean, maybe it
Black?
would have been correct to choose. No, I think it
Red?
would be white.
Oh, white. So
Because there is
To have no
a
impact.
little possibility that my opponent is running a single Hydroblast, but with white he can't name anything. Green would be possible too, because he was on Rock Delver, so Whale of Sun is a possibility.
yeah.
And with that you don't want to name black, because you then can't win with the Grindstone.
But I think usually you have more Pyroblasts than the Delver player.
I play in this matchup 3 to 4. It depends how I feel.
I think it's
And
still more than
It's
usual.
it's
Rock
one
Delver
more
player has,
because
yeah.
the Rock Devil player is playing 3.
Oh,
Three. Yeah.
And I think he's spawning in all of them.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Especially because I think he saw the Okos and the Urus in game 1. So he has to board it in. Especially if I'm naming blue with the Painter. And so he happened to sinkhole me with a 1 mana spell, which was a little bit brutally, I would say. So yeah.
Classic case of shit happens, I would say.
Yeah, that's for sure. But yeah, I have to try it out more and maybe have to choose different colors. But maybe it was just wrong to play the turn to Painter.
Yeah, that's a different question. Maybe you should have done something else.
But yeah, it happens, and you have to learn from these spots. If it is a mistake, if it's just bad luck. But at first you have to think about it as a mistake, so that you have the possibility to learn from it. So yeah, we go with this thesis for now.
But how did the league went otherwise?
2-3.
2-3, okay.
It was I
I
was
think
getting a little
you-
bit tilted.
Yeah, I
In the
think
first three
you
games.
lost the first 3 games and then won the last
Yeah.
2.
The first
Okay.
one was, as I said, against Rakdelva. There I had the win on board and lost to the Glock, which was a little bit brutally. Then I played, what was the second? Then I played against Grixis Dreadhorde Arcanist, which started off with turn 1 Forces into turn 2 Dreadhorde Arcanist into turn 3 flashback the Forces, and then cast Cooligan's commands, destroying a artifact of mine and discarding one of my hand cards, which was a little bit too fair for me.
It was
And
too much.
it was just too much to beat. And then I lost against a new deck. It was a new combo deck which utilized the 5 CMC legendary artifact from Zendikar Rising,
The Forsaken Monument.
the Forsaken Monument. It combos with
The Lithoform engine.
no, it's the
It's a
Forsaken Monument.
monument.
It's
Really?
correct, because it
How did
combos with the Grim Monolith, I think. It's Grim Monolith, the
yeah.
one that taps for 3 and you can
Yeah.
untap it for 3.
Yeah.
And because the Forsaken Monument allows mana sources which tap for colorless to add 1 additional colorless, it
Yeah.
taps now for 4. And with that you generate the mana to cast a card, get the Walking Ballista and win the game.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it
Yeah, that works. Yeah.
was cool losing to it.
Still
Yeah.
don't think that this is in any kind better than existing shells. But
No.
Yeah,
no.
it's a
It's-
different version from Mono Green Cloudburst, I would say. It uses a lot of the same pieces, but the win conditions. I mean, the win condition is the same because you cast either the Titans like a Ulamog or how's it called? The big one, the 15/15,
Emrakul.
the Emrakul, because you win the game with the Caracal.
Mm-hmm.
50 mana and the Caracal means you get infinite turns and can attack infinite times with it.
Yeah.
Which usually should win the game.
Most of the
Probably.
time.
Should be enough. But yeah,
And then you won the last 2 rounds.
against, I think one was Snowco. The fifth one I don't remember. But the games were cool, were interactive, so I had much fun playing those. So it compensated for the fact that the first 3 matches were a little bit frustrating, especially if you are a small streamer.
Yeah.
You have to, for me, you have to be in a good mood to do that. You don't.
Yeah, that's true for every streamer.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
true,
so.
definitely for everyone. But if you're a big streamer and some of them are using the tilting of yourself because
Yeah.
it's your personality you want to show to the people, and the people
Yeah.
watching you play enjoy your tilting moments, I would say.
Okay.
It's something that's a little. It's if you are playing Magic, it's frustrating to make a misplay or something like that. And I really enjoy that Saffron Olive is using those misplays which he makes to his advantage in the stream, to improve
Yeah.
the stream, because he has the I don't know how they're are named, because he has a counter which
A punt count.
the punt counter, yeah.
Mhm.
And I really enjoy this because it's an additional thing in his content.
Yeah,
And
it's,
this improves the stream.
it's a form of entertainment
Yeah, definitely.
that makes the stream more enjoyable.
And people can learn from this, so it works
Yeah.
both ways. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Should learn from it.
but that's for my stream and my beautiful turn. But I've heard that you, Philip, had a great turn of Magic in your recent matches.
I'm very unlucky with Magic Online, so at the moment I'm not streaming anything or something, because Magic Online hates me. Yeah, at first I had how do you say unplanned vacation. I had a day off on Friday due to the rain, and we were working outside, and we couldn't do anything. And I wasn't in the mood to go back to bed, actually. So I was up at 5 o'clock, and then at 6:30, I got the call that we can't do anything, and I was already 1.5 hours up and already dressed, and everything's ready to go. And then I got the call, and no, we can't do anything today. You can stay at home and just do what you want, And I was standing there, all in my clothes, and so what do you want to do?
Play Moto, of course.
And I hopped into a league. I played my Phoenix Brew. At the moment, it's Chant colors, because I wanted to try the Veil of Summer. And I actually abandoned Grixis because the blue cards, the Brainstorms and the Ponders, really wanted, or how do you say it? They have driven me into combing off into tendrils. So
you're more operating like a Storm deck.
For sure. So it made the whole Phoenix plan much worse, although it made the deck more consistent. So it was a little bit awkward. I often wanted to wait the next turn, just because maybe I can kill with Storm, then just wait another turn. Whereas 3 Phoenixes would have won the game probably 3 turns before. And that was just a little bit awkward. So I wanted to go for the raw speed again, and just a little bit more protection in Veil of Summer, and sideboard slots with Abrupt Decays. It felt great. It was again the deck I wanted to try, and I wanted it to tune. And I hopped into league, and everything started great. Won the first round. Not the first round, but the first game. Lost the next 2 matches. The next 2 games, and every match went the same. First game I won easily, and then lost the second 2, and it was a glorious 0-4.
Oh my god.
At 8:30, I think the league has ended, so a really good start in the day. And then I thought, let's play some real deck or a proven deck, and I chose Buck Hogak. I'm experienced with the deck, and I'm fairly good, I think, with it. So I hopped into the next league, went 3-0, and was already one game
ahead.
Ahead, yeah.
Against Snowcraft.
Against Snowcraft, and I was in the middle of milling him out, and then suddenly the power went out. So, Moto or just my luck hates me. I don't know what is happening. But I for sure lost this match because I timed out. I had 2 hours without electricity for 2 hours. And when I came back on, I restarted the league, and I played my last match. And it's funny, because I played against Mono Red Prison with main deck Leylines.
That's a good matchup, I would say.
When they just go turn 1, Leyline Chalice on 1. And you as a home deck player.
Next game.
I don't reveal what I'm playing. I just concede. And then I go... they didn't have the Leyline this time. And I went turn 1 Land Stitcher Supplier, and then they got on turn 1 Blood Moon into turn 2 Trinisphere. It was actually miserable moment, and so my league, although I went 3-2, was kind of a feel bad because the ending wasn't.
Yeah, and that's the
really
exact
great.
opposite of that how my league went, because you lose the first 3, but the last 2 one are good moments, so you have a quite positive ending.
You have a positive ending.
And if you have a bad ending, it's just like I would say you play in a big tournament and you lose the first 2 rounds, and then you win 7 consecutive rounds, but you still out of top 8 contention.
Yeah, you have a great time. Yeah,
you just have a great time because I'm like I have something I made because you came up fighting from the bottom to the top or nearly the top.
Yeah, it's
but
just
if
a great feeling. Yeah,
if you are 7-0 and then you lose 2 games because your opponents don't want to ID with you, you have a miserable moment because you lose because of breakers or something like that. In the top 8, it's just sometimes it's good to lose early and win late.
Yeah, for sure.
But only for the mindset, not for the money, most of the time.
And then I played in the Friday Night Magic, also again, John Phoenix, although I went 0-4 in the league before. Just for the record, we played in paper, so I went 2-2. I had 2 very miserable matchups and 2 favorable ones, so I lost the bad matchups and won the good ones, so I can't actually say anything about it. It just was a nice evening, and I had the first turn 1, really I had the nut draw with Phoenix. I mean, turn 1 against Stephen Texas, I'm on the play, and I went for tendrils for Storm Count 7, so tendrils for 14, and backed up by 3 Phoenix in the air. And this was just such a glorious moment. It made my whole day. So at least the day had ended on a positive note, and I'll definitely look into the deck further, although I think it will probably be a dead end. I'm not sure where to go. I'm working probably on the next brew in the next weeks, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, and Daniel, I think you played something new or unusual for you on Friday.
Unusual is the correct word here.
So what did you play?
I think I've mentioned this a couple of times, but I'm usually not a guy that plays a deck with a lot of creatures. And I usually don't touch decks that have more creatures than spells. But this time...
That's understandable.
But this time I went to the edge and I played a deck with 20 lands, 20 spells and 20 creatures. So it's not too much creatures, but it's on the verge. It's Alluran.
Okay.
Yeah. The deck is, it's fun for sure. And I did not feel that I had too many creatures. I mean, I think it was a little bit on the edge. But what I liked about the deck is that basically every creature can draw you a card. You have lots of Strixes, you have the Codals, you have what else? You have Shardless Agent, which draws a card, which just generates a card advantage. And the combo finish is of course really nice, but actually throughout the whole FNM, I think I never won with the combo itself.
Okay, so you're more like Splinter Twin, where you're always threatening the combo, but just win with fair ways.
With fair ways and casting Shardless Agent or any Strix and then or Oku, of course, and then grind the opponent out.
Yeah, I've seen some very ridiculous turns of you. I think you just had a Icefang Quatlan in play, and then you played a Shardless Agent, which found another Quartal, which found your Cavern Harpy. Yeah. You played the Cavern Harpy, bounced the Shardless Agent.
Replayed it.
Replayed the Shardless Agent. It was just... I was sitting there and just thought, wow.
Yeah,
that's just such a great moment.
Yeah, I remember now. Was the one single time I actually did win with the combo, because I had Allurin on the battlefield, and you can basically, you don't need your win condition, which is
The Kevin
just
Harvey?
the
Cauldron Familiar.
Cauldron Familiar and the Kevin Harpy as a combination. But if you have one Harpy and you're just looking for the Familiar, you just need either let's say a Strix or Icefang Coatl, or a Shardless Agent, and then you can, as long as you have enough life totals, you can always bounce your Coatl, your Agent, and then dig with the cards for your Familiar, and then win from there.
Yeah, you can do that. I think X times, and X is your life total -1.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Because you have to pay one life to bounce the Kevin Harpy.
Yeah.
And then I think it's the right thing to do is to replay the Shardless Agent, I think, because it will you draw effectively more cards.
Of course, yeah, you're burning off through all your lands.
Yeah.
And Okos and cards that are higher costed than.
Yeah, because you don't need the Urus, the Okos,
The Forces.
the Forces.
Yeah.
You have a lot of dead air left in the deck most of the time in the combo turn.
Yeah.
And the Shardless Agent just spins into a Brainstormer upon that, which finds again more cards. So,
But most of the time in the combo turn, I think you don't have the mana available, because you often slam the Allure and
you play
On
with
four.
with Cascade for free.
yeah, you
mean-
can cast it for free with
Agent. So
sure.
Yeah. And also
Sure, I
instant
haven't
speed.
thought about it, because it's free with.
There's also one infinite combo you can do with Uro and Kevin Harpy. You can get infinite life and draw your deck,
Yeah, sure.
because you can respond to the
sacrifice
trigger by bouncing it back to your hand, and you get the life if you stack it correctly beforehand, and then you can get infinite life and draw your deck. So that's also one way to effectively win and to get your Familiar.
Infinite Life is actually in Legacy.
I mean, it's not infinite because you're limited by the cards in your deck.
Yeah, for sure.
You also have to draw your card, but yeah, you don't run out of life by digging through your deck to get your Familiar.
Yeah.
And
But
then it just went with the Familiar. So
Yeah, genau.
Yeah, you have the life gain and the draw trigger in the same one. Because I don't know which deck it is, but there is one deck where you can stack the trigger correctly that you won't draw the last few cards. Do not know which. I think it's a Legacy deck. It's a combo, and in the later turns you have to do that in response to the draw triggers.
isn't it World Gorget, right?
Yeah, it's Wild Gorget.
Yeah.
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 Because you have to do everything in response now to the card draw from your Astrolabs or something like that, that you win the game.
Okay. Yeah, Allurin is a fun deck, but I think I'm not that guy that will play such a deck for a longer period of time, I think.
So we will be back on TS.
Most likely.
Have you tried to play TS on Modo? Because Brian has started a TS challenge or something like that.
Have you heard of that?
Yeah, I heard of that. I think you have to get as many trophies as you can.
You have to get at least
15 trophies.
At least 15, but after that, just enough. As much as you can.
The guy with the most
trophies
trophies will win, I think, a foil.
Okay.
Brainstorm and a foil
No,
Moxopal?
a foil Moxopal and a
Japanese.
Japanese foil original fetch land, I think.
No, not original. A Japanese foil Khan's Polluted Delta, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a nice challenge, but unfortunately I don't have that much time to. But I think I have most of tests here. I have definitely Ant on Modo.
Okay.
So there's not much I need for tests. But yeah, so no, I'm not playing tests on Modo.
Yeah, I'm way too inexperienced for myself on TS to join the leagues for now.
Okay.
And I think, and Brian says it too on his podcast, that he thinks that TS is now in a not that great spot in the meta, actually, at least for the online meta, because
did he state the reasoning for it?
One is that people are now starting to run Mindbreak Trap, as we suggested, which we will
that's
say
one of
later.
the hardest cards to beat.
And one thing is that the new combo deck with, we said it with the 5 mana card, you said it previously.
The monument?
With the Forsaken Monument,
Okay.
you now play a main deck Storm Hate in the form of
Sphere of Resistance.
Sphere of Resistance.
It plays
Okay.
4 Sphere of Resistance because with the Forsaken Monument, every land you tap just makes more mana than you
So
would
it's-
need,
so it
need
doesn't
for the
matter.
sphere.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah, okay.
you can outsphere yourself.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, for that there are coming now cards into the meta that are bad for TS and Rakdelva, even though Bryant was playing a Ruck Killer TS version. The matchup isn't that great, actually.
Yeah.
And for that, I think you kind of have to stay off the deck, I think, for now, for a small period of time, until Snowco rises up to the top again. And
Then you can play TS again.
and the guys are stopping playing TS, then I think there will be less Mindbreak Traps in the meta, and then you can start playing TES again. And
The
with
cycle continues.
and the cycle continues, then the Mindbreak Traps, the Mindbreak Traps
Break traps.
are
The
Come.
BBTs.
they break the mind of Brian. So no, they will come back.
It's
TS will be not.
Yeah, of course it will.
It's like the old Dredge cycle. Dredge is great. Everyone plays. Leyline, Dredge is bad. Nobody plays.
The
Graveyard Hate, then Dredge is really great again.
Yeah.
So it's always the same.
Yeah. Dredge is good when Dredge is bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Dredge is
actually
good and Dredge is bad, yeah.
and that's one.
It's the same with Stifle
In-
also.
Yeah, for sure. It's one interesting fact. We had a discussion in our local meta, in our local community, in the modern community, about mill.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
because there was the discussion that mill is now coming into the meta and can be
with the
a
8
big
crabs, yeah.
player in the modern meta game. And yeah, if mill is even remotely playable and you will have one player in the mill, one player in your shop that plays mill,
Yeah.
the only thing you have to do is slam one Eldrazi into your sideboard and you will cry.
Yeah.
If the whole community does this and this is only one sideboard slot,
Yeah.
the
Mill
deck is not playable anymore.
It is so easy to hate. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
And if
incredible.
that isn't
Great.
if
And
that
that's
isn't
the
enough,
problem.
you play one Emrakul and one Kozilek.
Or you play 2 Chaos Blessing and it's
No,
over.
you have to play two different ones because the surgical would help
yeah,
both.
for sure, the surgical, yeah.
So for that you have to play one
Just
of
2
each.
different and one
But
of each.
even if the surgical, you still get the trigger.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
At
still
least
get the
one
trigger.
time, yeah.
Yeah,
so
but then he has to hit 2 surgicals to even has the chance to win the game.
okay.
Which is, I mean, if you're playing 60 lands in your deck, it would be possible. But
It's the same basically as if you would get. It's a free card.
it's just like if you gain
20 life against
20
burn.
life against burn. Yeah,
Yeah.
actually,
And that's insane.
you can't win those.
Yeah.
So yeah, which was just a nice discussion. But I think we have argued about it that
A little bit too long.
if it's playable, a few Titans into the board, and no problemo.
Actually, I brewed with the new crab 8 crab list for Legacy, and Daniel even took it for a spin.
Yeah. It had its moments, but the problem is that I played against Chris.
Yeah.
Of
And
our
he played
community.
Alune or Food Chain or
Food Chain,
Esperile?
Food Chain, I
okay,
think
yeah.
so. And he had one Emrakul in the sideboard.
Oh,
Because that's one natural card that you play in Food Chain because it is a win con that
Wins against control, I think.
Yeah. I don't know exactly the reason, but he stated it. I might have to ask him again. But Fujin does play Emrakul sometimes in the sideboard. And of course, it's naturally good against Mill.
Yeah, it's he even said it to me that I have to keep care of myself if I play against him because I'm playing Painter, so the Emrakul would affect me too.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, but the deck was. I mean, sometimes it was really explosive, and I could basically out-control and outpace my opponent very easily. But on the other hand, you have those draws where you are stuck with a couple of traps in your hands, also archive traps, or you are stuck with, or you are running out of control elements. You have some drawn in the logs, I think, the forces, of course, but I mean, the cards are so they're lacking a little bit of flexibility.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You have played Visions of Beyond, I think?
No. 4 Brainstorm, 4 Ponder, 4 Force of Will.
Mm-hmm.
I think you... The problem with Mill, I think, in Legacy, if you're playing Force of Will is... I mean, it's good at protecting yourself, but the problem is that it's just like Burn. If you have to sacrifice one card that burns your opponent or mills your opponent, it's really hard for you to compensate with this because if you see Burn, every mulligan means 3 less damage in your starting hand.
Yeah.
And for Mill, if you exile a Mill card with your Force of Will or even a draw card or a Brainstorm, a Ponder or whatever, it's just negative for you because that means you had 1 protection card.
Yeah.
And if you have an opening hand of, let's say, 2 lands, 1 card draw spell, 2 mill spells, a random blue card and a Force of Will, you now have 2 lands, 2 draw cards, 1 mill card, and that's it if you have to counter something. So you have effectively mulligans to 5. Even though the Force of Will might have saved you in that game or whatever, it's just bad for the plan of milling your opponent out. So I think you need the Visions of Beyond to compensate for this, to get an additional card advantage.
Yeah, I mean, the idea, I think, of Mill or of that approach would be to not be really an aggro deck, but really try to be a control deck. But for that, you are lacking the control elements a little bit.
The problem that the cards are not flexible. A bolt can bolt the creature, and the mill spell can only mill your opponent. So
exactly. Yep. And that's the mill cards can't control your opponent, and the control cards can't mill your opponent. So and sometimes you're drawing too much of either of two things.
We maybe have to have a flip card or split card, like mill your opponent for 10 for 3 mana, and for 3 mana shuffle a creature of your opponent into his owner's library, or if you have even something like that. I mean, for 3 mana it would be not playable. It's just way too expensive. I mean, shuffling a creature into your opponent's deck is a really, really good
removal suit. Yeah,
it's I think a really good one. And if for 2 mana, I think it would be too good.
No, I think for 2 mana it's just fine. Actually,
I also think it's fine. It's like
if you think about, if you think about Terminus, I mean,
Ifagast is played or was played actually in Legacy. I think they are now off to it.
You can still play it.
It's still
good if you're lacking the right colors.
Yeah.
So
okay, Ifagast even got rid of the Blood Moon, so you need some type of permanent hit.
And it hits Clothis.
Yeah,
which is
3
sometimes
mana
really big. Yeah,
shuffle a permanent into its owner's library would be good.
Yeah, it would be good. I'm not sure if that is enough.
It probably wouldn't be enough.
You need more low to the ground remover or something like that. If you play that, you could maybe play Visions of Beyond with Seagate Stormcaller. 3 mana, draw 6 would be nice, but
but it doesn't correlate with the rest of the game plan. So
no, I think that's the fundamental flaw of the whole deck. That
the game plans aren't really
Cohesive.
cohesive. They don't work together. So
Yeah.
I just was very eager to brew something out of it because I mean 8 crabs, it's cool.
Mm.
8 whack, 8 rack, 8 crap.
Yeah, for sure.
So-
It's the same, but it was the first draft, and the first draft of the deck already showed its flaws. So
Yeah.
we don't think it's anywhere near playable. So yeah,
Not
it
really.
was fun, but
Yeah, it was fun, for sure.
I mean, and I think it's good to try something new.
yeah, for sure. You
Its
need,
legacy is there to have fun.
yeah, you need to try something new. Otherwise, you wouldn't take a step forward and make progress. So, just for our regular listeners,
Yeah.
we had the
We had a feature, basically.
Yeah.
we were featured
Yeah.
on the MTG Goldfish article from Joseph Dyer.
It was a legacy roundtable.
Yeah,
right?
the
Legacy
Roundtable
Roundtable.
with Phil Gallagher,
Max
Name-
Torsion.
Max
Torsion,
Max Torsion, Max Gilmore is his name. Who was?
Then
Yeah,
there was.
I'm not sure now.
It was, of course,
Wow, I'm
It's
so
getting
I'm-
late.
I'm so bad with names.
Reeling.
Andreas
Andreas
Rehling.
Rehling,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm sorry, Andy, if you hear this. But
Yeah.
everyone had only
And
a card market picture in his head.
Yeah.
and just for the record, it's close to 11 p.m. now, so
Oh yeah.
it's getting late and it's Tuesday evening, so I think we're forgiven for this. But actually, yeah, we were invited to this roundtable, and Joseph Dyer is a great guy, so shout out for him.
Yeah,
You should
definitely.
Also check out the article.
check out the article. It's on
And
Goldfish.
check out all articles of him. He's
Yeah.
doing the legacy and the vintage ones, and these are really, really good.
Yeah, and you should follow him on Twitter. It's at VolrathXP. And yeah, in the aftermath of the, we're putting the link into the show notes.
Yeah.
And in the aftermath of the article, we had some discussions on Twitter, and there was a question why nobody in the whole article has addressed the problem of days in the format, or if days
But
is
for the
a
record,
problem. Yeah.
we mentioned it a little bit.
Yeah, we mentioned it.
Yeah.
We talked about it in our Discord meeting, and
We also gave it as an answer, but we didn't really go in depth.
yeah, we didn't go in there. But we were a little bit nebulous and mystic about it, but we just thought there could be something.
I think there's something to it actually.
Yeah, the
That days is maybe a big problem, because I don't know. I think we have talked about this, but I'm not that long a part of the legacy history, and I don't know the metas that were present before the
Before the Elva, I think.
no, before the top ban.
okay.
I'm not that familiar with that metas, but from what I've heard is that, of course, since top was printed, that basically Miracles was always one of the best decks.
Yeah, it was for sure always one of the best.
So
decks,
it
yeah.
was a big time where Miracles was just the best deck, or a long time.
Yeah.
And after the ban, I think basically
It was
until
always Grixis Delver until
Um,
the ban.
yeah,
Yeah.
But-
I was gonna say it was since the top ban
No,
until now, today, it is always a Delver deck that is the best deck.
outside of such rare occurrences like
Like the breach.
Omnitel with Dig Through Time.
Yeah,
or
Omnitel with
Breach,
Dick
or-
Breach.
Yeah,
Well, we
of
had
course.
some design mistakes.
But I think
which
Dig Through Time was banned before top, right?
No.
Not.
I don't think so. No.
You sure? Because maybe I'm mistaken here, but okay. So of course, Dig for Time is a different story.
Yeah, also Treasure Cruise, but Treasure Cruise
Yeah,
was
yeah.
in Delver, so
Yeah.
So I think you started because you said you were getting modern, if I remember correctly, for your first deck was Blue Red Delver, and you said that you bought the deck and you bought the Treasure Cruises.
Yeah.
And I think Treasure Cruise and
Dig Through Time was
Dig Through Time were
the
banned
in Modern.
for Modern and Legacy at the same time, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
So it would make sense that you were starting in after the bans.
After the bans, but I did start Legacy when Top was legal.
Okay,
So I think
it
Top,
was in the
Top
time.
was banned after Dig for Time and Treasure Cruise, I think.
Yeah.
And so then the best deck was always
And after that, I think it was
a
always
Delver deck,
always a kind of Delver deck.
I mean, there was a period where Checkball was discussed to be a little bit better than Delver.
I like to compare it like it is maybe today. In
like
that
Snow Contract Delver.
Yeah.
It's
Snow
just
Contract
a
Delver
small meta shift,
is similar
They're-
to
they're
Grixis Delver
equal.
and Checkpile. And
it always feels like a déjà vu actually, because I played during that time. I'm playing since 2012 now, and it almost feels the same with such a good Delver deck and such a good control deck in the format. And what I did back then was attack the format with a combo deck with Dredge. And that's what I do now with Hogak. So it's almost like a déjà vu.
Yeah. So different decks, but same archetypes.
Yeah.
So it's the same format.
It's
kind of
just with other colors,
just with other cards
and
So-
other colors,
and other colors.
because
But-
they've read Jack Pal and
You had to play
Delver
the
was
black.
always whiteless,
whiteless.
and
Yeah.
now it's almost always blackless.
No, the Snow decks are
redless.
more on the
or
redless
more-
side. They are
Okay.
playing the Pyroblast in the sideboard and the Volcanic in the main board, if I remember correctly, because you need these cards to even have a chance in the mirror.
Okay.
Because Oko is just way too hard to answer, and
Yeah.
Uro too.
So I also get a feeling that I mean, we're not drifting too far away, I think, from the day's topic. But if I can compare this again to the Grixis, Delver, and Checkpile times, I think we can connect again to a little bit of Bronze Age of Legacy. If you think of pre-Innistrad of the Golden Age and the pre-War of the Spark after Deathrite Shaman ban as the Silver Age, maybe after a Oko ban or anything that breaks up the blue-green trifecta, maybe we can go into something like a Bronze Age if the design mistakes aren't too big in the next sets.
Yeah.
So back to
Back to these.
the day's topic. Just for this, I don't think that, although Days is probably one of the strongest cards and is the one of the best enablers for a Delver-like strategy or a tempo strategy.
Yeah, you need it for the tempo strategies.
Yeah.
It's
for sure.
I don't think it's right to ban Days because I'm really fearing that 4 or 5 color snow deck will be the best thing to do, because you can tune these decks to also crush combo.
Yeah.
If the tempo decks are not here, you can definitely prepare the main deck more for combo. So you play like Delver 6 forces or even 7 forces in the main deck, because you are actually allowed with Uro to cast your Force of Will on turn 4 with your mana without exiling a card or something like that. You can play Whale of Summer. You can play different stuff. You can prepare your deck to play. You even can use something like Deafening Silence in various creature combo decks, like I think Food Chain or even Alluren is playing Deafening Silence in the sideboard.
I know.
Alluren is not
mostly
white.
back.
Okay, it's mostly back, but definitely
But
Fuchin
Fuchin
is
is banned,
playing
yeah.
Deafening Silence in
Fuchin
the
is,
sideboard. So
also
you can play.
Maverick and Devon Texas
Yeah.
can also play it.
So you maybe can put those a little bit more in the main deck if combo is running around more and more. And so I think banning days, and about banning days, there is a different topic we have to hit on, and that's a very big one for me, and that is format feel.
Yeah.
And I think the meta, even though Days Delver was not originally in Legacy, but I think since it's called Legacy, there was always Delver. I think then it was called 1.5.
No, it's since it's called Legacy, there was always Threshold.
Okay, there was
Threshold.
always a tempo deck.
Always a tempo.
It was
It
Canadian
was Miracle
Threshold.
Grow at first, and it was Canadian Threshold, and then
Okay.
you had Team America and
Yeah,
Mhm.
and then Team Italy. No, Team Italy was the
Team
Jazz
Italia
Delver.
was Mardu.
Okay. Okay, yeah. But there was always a tempo deck in the format that utilized one drops and dazes, and you need that to combat on the one side the combo decks, and on the other side you have to hinder the control decks that go over your top to even have a chance against them. And if you're losing the dazes, I fear that's with Wasteland not being good enough, and I mean. With Wasteland Days, you are hitting on them, getting mana screwed or something like that, which is for many of players a bad feeling. It's a bad feel moment. It's a bad game moment. But I think you need that to have a stable format. Actually,
For the format, I also think. I'm sorry, just
No,
to bring this to end.
I just want to mention that, like you said, it's not about days in particular Delver. It would just kill a whole archetype.
It would kill the whole archetype.
And yeah, it would.
It would shift the power certainly in the control direction, because control can always build its main deck to fight certain strategies.
Yeah.
And if the control decks are attacked by the tempo strategies and the combo strategies, then everything is
more balanced.
in balance.
Oh yeah.
because you need the tempo control combo trifecta to have an established format, I think. And we
More or less,
have that currently, and with this, I think you would eliminate most of it. I mean, you can play then 4 Force of Will, 4 Force of Negation, 2 Mindbreak Trap in the sideboard, Delver variants, but it wouldn't be the same, and it would be far, far worse.
Yeah.
And Daze is a really, really difficult card to play, I would say. It's a card that will get better the better the pilot is.
Oh yeah.
And for that, I think you have to utilize it good. I mean, if you're starting into the format, a Delver deck is not that easy to start, but it's you can have, or you can get to some wins, but it's definitely a deck where you have a very, very long and favorable learning curve. And I think we need that in a format to get people in. And I think that's definitely something we have to strive in.
Yeah.
So do we have any other days ban talk?
I think that covers it pretty much.
Yeah, I also think we need days in the format, and also not particularly days, but days enables the tempo archetype, we need a tempo archetype in the format, because aggro is gone.
Yeah.
There is no zoo or something. And
no, you can't play those because you lose instantly to combo.
Yeah.
And the control decks
are
go.
It's probably more the control decks than the combo, because you, with Will of Summon, Deafening Silence, you've got enough tools to fight combo and Mindbreak Traps. But then you will certainly lose to any Oko or any Uro.
Yeah.
And a resolved Uro will just kill your whole game plan.
That's what I think. I think for the ban talk, because we are probably all in favor of banning Oko, if you hit both decks and the only thing that's keeping any other mid-range or long-range strategy out of the format, like Death in Texas, because Death in Texas isn't really good right now, even with Skyclad Apparition.
Yeah.
Or Chant or something else. It doesn't matter, yeah. Or Shadowsparker. Even
French
normal bug, yeah.
earlier playbook strategies, yeah.
Which are great at feasting on combo. Like you have your 8 discards and
or even hymns.
Yeah. And if that's playable, again, if you just hit Oko, then you can play these again because you often have suboptimal threats.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the problem against Rakdelva, I would say currently is the problem that you need to have something to kill an Oko, and you need to have something that kills the board. There was one particular spot I had on this FNM where I had a Miracle Terminus on top of my library, and I had a Pyroblast in my hands to counter the Force of Will of my opponent and a Brainstorm in my hand. But they have to turn the Brainstorm now, because I need to find either another answer for an opposing Oko, or to find another answer for the board of my opponent, because it's so hard to deal with an resolved Oko, because you need either a Force of Will or something like that, because it's just too hard to beat without having something on the board. And I mean, when they designed Planeswalkers, they even said that the counter against Planeswalkers should be creatures, because creatures aren't the counter to anything.
Yeah,
creatures just kill the opposing player normally, and creatures should be the counter to Planeswalkers. And the problem is that with Legacy being a lot more stack based, it's just really, really hard. Because if you have against an Oko like 2 or 3 creatures on the board, the Oko isn't good. Yeah, because it will elk something, but then the Oko is dead.
That's
and it doesn't matter. Most of the time, it doesn't matter. But yeah, I think the problem is the designing of the Planeswalkers was all right back then, but back then the Planeswalkers were most of the time 4 to 6 drops or 7 drops. It was the earlier was the Elspeth. I think this was the 6-mana Elspeth that made 3 1/1 tokens or something like that. Was one of the earlier ones.
Sounds champion.
No, that was
Elspeth.
from Terros. Elspeth Night Errant is the 4-mana.
4-mana one, yeah.
The 6-mana one is 5 years later.
Okay.
Or 4 years later.
Okay. Then I had a wrong one in mind, but you need to have something on the board, and with now Planeswalker being really, really efficient and being the face of Planes, it's much more difficult to fight those if they resolve, being effectively a 2-drop if you have an acceleration, or in Oko shells, in Rak shells, in Rakdelva shells if you come back after you have to fight against a pretty good early game, and then you even have to fight against a good late game against Oko. So yeah, but I think we covered those in the roundtable article. Really good, I would say, sure. And definitely check those out. And I think we move on to the next topic.
Yeah, and we had some really
good
big news today. I just want to say good. Wizards of the Coast has announced another Secret Lair drop. I mean, Secret Lair drops are normally really cool. I really like the Fetchland one. I really like the Tattoo and the Graveyard one. They're really cool and that nice alternate artworks.
Yeah.
And this one is
a little bit different.
Kind of strange. It's the Walking Dead crossover.
Yeah. It's a little bit insulting to the community, but...
Why, Peter?
Yeah, the problem with this one is that now with the Walking Dead creatures, they are mechanically unique cards. The previous Secret Lairs were all fine because you're paying for, like in an online game, a skin for a game, for a card. You're getting an exclusive card. It looks different, but it isn't a new card.
Yeah.
The problem
They're all
I see,
basically reprints.
yeah, they're like the Godzilla lands.
Yeah.
If you like Godzilla and you want the lands, buy them because they look good. If you like the art, if you like the flavor. But now with them printing exclusive, mechanically unique cards on their own terms of money.
Yeah.
I haven't found any other announcement, but I found on the website that these gonna cost $55 or €55. And yeah, so they print 5 cards. Effectively, each of those costs €11.
Yeah.
And if even one of them is remotely playable, and we talk about Glenn soon,
we go through them all.
It will be. It's
a disaster.
It's a disaster
Yeah.
because you only have, I think, 1 week time from the 4th to the 12th to buy those. You have to pay €220 for the play sets, and you need to have them to stay competitive at the game.
If they are playable. Yeah.
If they are playable.
Yeah.
And even if they're not playable and it sells good, what happens with the next crossover or the over next? I mean, even the 4th one, if it happens at any time in the future that a card is borderline busted or broken or something, and you need it to stay competitive because it will get a real big role player in the meta, then it's a financial disaster.
It's like some other people say, or what I read, it's just an increase of the reserved list.
Yeah,
it's an
definitely.
Reserved list, and it's gatekeeping in its purest form.
It's just as I said, an insult, because the problem now is that they can print money how they want to, because normally you have your booster boxes, you get the standard cards out, you get the draft cards out, and then there are some cards that it's not okay that there are standard playable cards or cards and standard sets that cost above €40, I would say.
Yeah,
and like Euro, like Oko when it was released, it's just not okay to have those big players and which are getting effectively printed and they cost that many. And now they're printing cards on their own. If they have a ultra exclusive Secret Lair in like a year, and you now have to pay $150 for the box, and then there are 3 cards in there, and one is, let's say, in a year later, a mainstay in a control deck because it's just the best finisher you can have. You don't have the possibility in paper to schedule a new one, because then there are maybe some collectors that are you don't are allowed to print those, because you said it's a limited print run. There are only 100 copies of it, because online you have the possibility of giving them out in chests. But for the paper economy, it's huge
from a
hit.
Competitive standpoint, it's
just
disaster.
an insult.
It's a disaster.
Mark Rosemotter mentioned that they are able to reprint those cards under different names, but these
he didn't say under different names. He didn't say anything to this. He said he is able to make functional reprints.
Yeah, I mean,
but Saffron Olive, we're now on Tuesday evening, so this is the things we know.
This is the last.
He hasn't answered Saffron.
Yeah. Here's the tweet
until now.
So let's. This is I will capture the tweet of Maro. So let's say Negan becomes a popular commander. We can print the Magic version, same card mechanically, but with a Magic name and art in any number of future products.
So it's basically
this is not the case of us being unable to make more of a popularly played card. But the problem with it is the response time. We currently know that Wizards designs sets 2 years in advance. The question now is, are they able to schedule? How do they schedule these cards in? Do they give it out as box toppers in a set because it's easy to produce or quick to produce? Do they make a new Secret Lair with another name, which would be another insult?
Probably. They certainly will do it.
I think it would be, because you make, let's say you design a playable card that will get played, and then half a year later, this is all speculation by the way, and then half a year later you print the same card for, let's say, the same price, and now everyone has to buy it because you need them, because you know now they got printed, they won't get printed in the near future, and now you pay the money you would pay to another player on card market or whatever other platform, your LGS, wherever you buy your cards, and now you put your money exactly to Wizards of the Coast. And they even have to say, we don't acknowledge the secondary market. And then they print those bullshit. Maybe it's just speculation, but
we just hope that
none of them
legacy playable. That none of these cards, is legacy playable. And for this, I think we go through the cards that we know at the moment. I think we know 4 of them.
There are 4 of them. Yeah.
The first one is.
We start with the bad ones. Then we go to the best.
The blue-green one is
black-green.
The black-green one is Michonne, Ruthless Survivor. It's a legendary human warrior for 3, a black and a green. When Michonne enters the battlefield, create 2 walker tokens. I think walker tokens are zombies.
These are 2/2 zombie tokens. Another thing, they don't describe it on the card, which is not good.
As long as Michonne is equipped, she must be blocked if able. Whenever Michonne and at least 2 zombies attack, she gains indestructible until end of turn. So it seems like a Nick Fit playable, like almost everything.
Everything that's green, black, and costs 5 or more.
And has an enter the battlefield trigger.
The second one is Negan, the Cold-Blooded. It's a legendary creature, human rogue, for 2 and Mardu, so for 5 mana. It's a 4/3, and it has, when Negan enters the battlefield, you and target opponent each secretly choose a creature the player controls. Then those choices are revealed, and the player sacrifices those creatures. Whenever an opponent sacrifices a creature, you create a treasure token. So the way this is worded is...
it's just like a secret... how's the card called?
It's like the Constellation mechanic, right? Oh, no, not Constellation.
The voting mechanic.
The will of the Council.
From Council's Judgment.
Council's Judgment, Yeah, the problem with this one is, let's say your opponent has 2 Delvers out. How do you say... In paper, it's especially for paper play, it's... How do you... If your opponent has 2 flip Delvers out and you write Insectable Aberration or something like that, or the left one, it's even... You have to discuss if the left one is the left one or the left one in the side of your opponent. And I think this could be quite confusing in paper play. But as we think this one is not playable, at least nowadays, but...
It's certainly for Commander players.
Yeah, for Commander it's
the Commander committee has tweeted something that they will certainly take action if it's necessary. So I don't fear for Commander in this spot. They will figure things out.
Of course.
And for the next one, it's Daryl, Hunter of Walkers. It's a legendary human archer, a 4/4 for 2 and a red and a green. At the beginning of your upkeep, target opponent creates 3 walker tokens. Again, the 2/2 zombies. It has tap, Daryl deals 2 damage to target creature. and it has whenever a zombie an opponent controls dies, draw a card. So it took, I think, 5 minutes for Twitter to break this card.
Or at least find a combo.
Or at least find a combo just for Commander. It combos nicely with Adder Flash. It's 4 mana enchantment, and whenever a creature enters the battlefield, it deals 2 damage to it.
Yeah. Which kills the tokens, and
you draw 3 cards.
And you draw the cards. So you draw 3 cards
upkeep
each turn.
Ancestral Recall.
Yeah. Or it even combos with Pyrohemia. It's the red color shifted Pestilence. Where you can draw 3 each turn for 2 mana.
2 mana, yeah.
But
I don't think it's legacy playable. It's again green, so it's a Nickfit card. It's a cool design. And let's go to the
next
last one for today.
Let's go to
I
the
don't
insult.
think we get the. I don't think we get the last one. One is.
I think
missing.
there's still one missing. Yeah,
it's 5 cards. Yeah.
It
should be 5 cards.
It should be 5 cards. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the next.
But maybe the
one.
5th one is just a Walker token.
I think I'm certain that you get some Walker.
There are
Sure,
Walker
yeah.
tokens in there.
Should be included there.
These are spoiled. You will see that on the Twitter account on Maro254, I think, or MTG Secret Lair.
Yeah, and the last one for today is Glenn, the Voice of Calm. It's a legendary creature, human advisor, a 1/3 for 1 and a white and a blue. It has Skulk, so this creature can't be blocked by creatures with greater power. And it has, whenever Glenn deals combat damage to a player, draw cards equal to his power. So this is the first card out of this, which is at the edge of being
playable. It has some potential.
Playable.
I think this is just in between playable and probably playable.
Yeah.
I think this is exactly the spot which is dangerous for the design spaces, for legacy and vintage. You need these cards to be healthy for the format, I would say, between garbage and probably playable, I would say.
Yeah.
And this is just a step too much, I think. Just hope it's on the lower end of the spectrum.
It seems like it, I think.
You need a specific shell for it, because this one is really good with Umezawa's Cheetah. But the problem is you need the deck for these 2 cards to work.
I mean, remember, it's only really good if your Yitte already has counters on it.
Yeah.
So,
definitely.
I mean, there's some preparation that you need to do in order to make it work. And even then, I mean, you can probably, let's say, draw 5 cards if you use both your Yitte counters. I mean, that's kind of, I don't know, unlikely to happen. But
yeah, this card would be definitely a much bigger discussion about it if it was only 1 white, 1 blue.
Oh, for sure.
Then this one would be definitely on the side of playable. It would be between playable and maybe mainstay if you find a good deck for it. But on 3, it could be on the safe side of playable. So we are putting this one between probably playable and playable. But yeah, this one could be dangerous for the format. Not because it's too good in a power level perspective, just because it's too hard to get.
Yeah.
And that's something we even mentioned on the article from Joseph Dyer, because about the unbannings, card availability for Legacy is a huge player. Yeah. And with Wizards allowing them to print effectively cards for 8 days, and then you have no chance in getting them, it's just not right. It's just not right.
I mean, one big thing that we are talking about here is basically our mistrust in WotC, actually. I mean, I think all those Secret
But
Lairs.
can you blame us with the
No.
decisions they did in the last 2 years?
I mean, I think this is an interesting point. This whole discussion is based on mistrust, and because I think those Secret Lair products can easily be made if you can really be sure that the company is knowing what it's doing and isn't printing and designing cards that are probably busted, then everything is fine, I think.
Even if they're busted, I don't have a problem with the Walking Dead franchise. I don't even have a problem with the artwork that's not in the MTG lore or something. I'm not that big of a lore guy, so I'm actually okay with that. If anyone likes it, that's fine, that's great. But I'm just really, like you said, on the mistrust side, and
that there's a potential that this can go out of hands.
Yeah, this
really
could get wrong. That's the problem.
And the problem is, if it gets wrong, it gets gross. It gets so gross.
Something that I think would be interesting would be Secret Lairs with printing of mainstay cards in Modern or Legacy with a franchise.
Yeah,
like they did with the Godzilla. You don't need mechanically unique cards to do this.
Yeah,
you can print a Shadow Mage Infiltrator with Clan. There's no problem. You have a similar card. I mean, not that Shadow Mage Infiltrator sees much play, and maybe this would be an insult to... I don't remember who was the card that Shadow Mage Infiltrator was designed.
Wasn't it John Finkel?
I think, it should be John Finkel.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not a Shadow Mage Infiltrator, because it would be an insult to John Finkel.
But a Cold-Eyed Selkie or...
I mean, there's also a newer version of Meddling Mage, which was Crispy Cooler.
Yeah, but not with a different franchise on it. That's the thing.
Okay,
I
man.
say.
Yeah, but it's still Magic lore. So
yeah, definitely.
I'm not sure.
So yeah, but I think if you print those with mechanically uniqueness, it's quite dangerous.
You're walking on thin ice, for sure.
Definitely.
So
not that on thin ice is playable.
So I think with this foreshadowing of apocalypse and magic is dead 11111, we end this here. So we wrap this up. We will stream. We will capture our Friday Night Magic, our Austrian Legacy League tournament. As a response cast stream.
That we have to know.
That will be nice.
That will be on the 13th of October, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, 13th of October.
This is a special day, because normally I would do that on myself on a Monday.
Yeah.
So we will stream that one on the 13th October. I would say we do it on the same time as I would do it usually. 20:30 CEST.
Let's try to make that happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we will
we'll
stream it on twitch.tv/unicornlordmtg.
But the O in the Lord is a 0.
Yeah, for sure.
Of course.
And
yeah.
What else do we have to say? Yeah, so Peter, let's just, for our listeners, recap your Twitter handle.
Unicorn Lord. Is it Unicorn Lord MTG?
No, it's at Unicorn Lord.
It should be at Unicorn Lord.
Yeah.
So at Unicorn Lord, but the O
Is
in the Lord is a 0. And yeah, we announced the Twitch channel before.
Yeah.
So what about you, Daniel?
At Flying Delver on Twitter and on my website, which is greatness@anycost.com. And Peter, we already Peter.
You can find me on...
Sorry, I meant Philip.
No problem. So yeah, you can find me and some of my hot takes on Twitter.
Hot take, Philip.
At PhinicMTG, PhinikMTG. On Twitch, although I seldom stream, but I think I will in the near future. At twitch.tv/PhinicMTG. And also take a look on the Austrian-legacy.com website, where you can find all our score points,
You can find
leaderboards.
information about the league itself and information about also I think about the stream.
Yeah, we will certainly implement that if it isn't already.
Yeah.
And yeah, we will stream our league tournaments every Friday on 2030 CET. So take
Go
a look.
watch that.
It's on twitch.tv/Austrian_legacy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can also follow its Twitter account at Austrian_legacy. And follow us,
Of course.
the In Response cast at response_legacy.
Yeah.
So with this, we wrap it up and wish you a nice weekend.
In response, the end.